Ladies and gentlemen, it is a beautiful day to talk about Call of Duty. And today I have a wonderful special guest in today's video. We've been doing a lot of these talking head videos with people from out the community. We had Blame Truth on, we had Merc Music on. We've been just kind of all over the map here. And now we got our very own Modern Warzone. You know him from Twitter, you know him from his average gameplay, and his actual name is Doug. Doug, Modern Warzone, the greatest Call of Duty player of all time.
There we go. Hey, thanks for having me, man.
So today, pretty much, we're going to talk about the Modern Warfare 4 beta. We'll probably talk about some topics scattered throughout the beta so far, what we think of the maps, the guns, honest opinions on everything, maybe the state of the franchise. We'll kind of go from there. I mean, I have not been on Twitter yet today, so I mean, we can maybe dive into what's going on if you wanted to do that. I've been playing GTA, so I don't know if anything crazy happened while I was gone, and I'll shut up now and you talk.
So far today, all they've did is they posted the patch notes and they just did a little update and they basically nerfed the damage range of almost it's like 6 or 7 guns, 6, 7. It was like 7 or 8 guns or something. They nerfed the damage range and the headshot and neck multipliers on a bunch of them. And it seems like instead of just raising the overall health, they're pretty committed to trying to raise the TTK of these weapons all across the board, which I don't know if that's going to be the right call, but it's the way they're going. They seem to be pretty committed to trying to fix this TTK stuff. Like the AK before it was patched today had a 1.45x headshot multiplier. They lowered it all the way to like 1.18. So pretty
Yeah.
big difference there.
I heard, I actually watched J God's video. Speaking of J God, I think he's in here, but I watched his video when he went over how low they were dropping it. I think TTK is a pretty big problem when you tie in with the matchmaking and stuff like that. And I want to actually open it up right away because we talked a little bit on the phone before we were doing this. And I think the first thing I want to address is when we go to these events, I think you know what I'm going to be talking about here is we get to play for like what, 2 hours? And so
Yeah, it's usually 2 hours.
so I think a lot of these times we get this quick, small perspective. And again, it's a brand new Call of Duty. And no matter where you're at in life, like I get hyped for a new Call of Duty. So I think we leave these chats sometimes, at least me, I'm like, okay, that felt pretty good. But I think these play sessions probably need to start extending to either 2 days or one, like I think you said, a big 8-hour session. Because I think the cracks start to kind of happen when you play the beta for an extended period of time.
That's what I'm noticing with my friends, myself, with everyone. Like you play the game and you're like, "Oh, this isn't MW2. It feels good." And then after a couple of hours, you're like, your opinion definitely goes down on the game." And I don't know whether it's just the map size or what, but the 2 hours that we get when we get flown out to the events is, I mean, I'm just going to be straight up honest about it. They use us as marketing tools. They know during those 2 hours we're going to have fun and be excited. And yeah, of course they're getting us out there for a bit of feedback, and we do give as much as we can. But like T Dog saying, we have 2 hours. In that 2 hours, we have an entire game's worth of weapons to try.
Mm-hmm.
An entire we're playing like a bunch of maps y'all haven't even seen yet. Um, there's a lot of feedback we gave that definitely made the game better that you guys won't know about for weeks. Like specifically, there's a snowy map that played like dog shit when we played it, and we all complained that you couldn't see shit on it. Hopefully, when we get that map, we can see shit on it. Um, the 2 hours isn't enough. It really isn't. And during that 2 hours, you have tech issues, you have all types of stuff
Yeah.
going on.
And that 2 hours is like hard cut. Like you're just like, all right, guys, get on out of here. It's not like, hey, we're gonna play a few more. I mean, I think this past time, this is my first time ever going to a studio early, and it was very regimented. Like, you know, get on the bus, get moving, get things going, and play, and then you're out, right back
Yeah,
home.
we were a bit delayed too. We
Yeah.
didn't even get the full time. We were supposed to get another 30 minutes.
So I mean,
But just to be honest with people, like, yes, I see all the comments every year that we are marketing tools and that's why we get flown. I understand, but it'd be dumb of us to deny the opportunity to get hands on and give true feedback. It'd just be stupid. And we do. We go out there and we're more brutally honest at these things than we are on the internet. because there's a lot of nuance that gets lost on the internet. Like I've looked at Dev in his face and told him this is dog shit, and they can understand that I'm coming from a good place. You can't really do that on Twitter without you just seeming like an asshole.
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of why I've kept. I did a few opinions right off the rip, and I mean, I had a few people be like, "Well, it seems like you're switching up," and I mean, I guess we can dive right into it. I
Yeah.
said it on the live stream today. I was like, the biggest thing for me with MW4 is I feel like I'm allowed to have a switch up because they switched the matchmaking on us. You know, 4 weeks ago, we played Modern Warfare 4, at least I did, under the assumption we were going to have a Black Ops 7 style matchmaking before 4 weeks ago. And so I'm going, hey, this feels kind of good with, and on top of that matchmaking, we might be in pretty good shape. Now, again, all this stuff happened after the fact. So I'm trying to give a little bit of leniency to Infinity Ward. The classic matchmaking, the classic playlist comes out after we play an Infinity Ward. And I'm like,
Yep.
that solved so many problems for me. Like there was problems that I didn't know how to fix. And Treyarch came in there and just dominated. They're like, hey, here's what we're going to do to fix that problem. And I feel like BO7 got that huge uptick and people were, I played it. That's when you know that actually was a good mode. And so that hadn't happened yet. And then this matchmaking swap also hadn't happened yet. The ports hadn't happened yet. And so, like, I got all of this stuff in like a short period of time. Modern Warfare 4 changes the matchmaking to pretty much, in my opinion, you can tell me the stats and the numbers and blah, blah, blah. It changes it to pre-BO7. And so that makes the experience worse. I've now been playing BO2 and BO1 and BO7 Classic for about a month. That just felt like, okay, this is actually what Call of Duty is. I remember what Call of Duty is. And then what was my last point? I can't remember. I guess the matchmaking, the speed of the game, and then again, when you have crazy matchmaking and the maps aren't very big, when you're playing Transit 213 on strict matchmaking and quick TTK, it just makes it where you're like, wow, I play for 5 hours and my brain hurts so bad.
Yeah.
And so I feel like my whole shift in mindset, the gunplay to me is amazing. Like I love Infinity Ward's gunplay. It like when you get a couple kills in a row on MW4, it's like it is the most satisfying feeling in a row, or like in gaming, in my opinion. But you have to get to those kills, and it's really hard to do that right now.
It is, especially like just transitioning to the next thing. I don't think there should ever be another Call of Duty beta without Ghost immediately unlocked for every player. And I don't think that TAC Mask should be locked behind the second weekend. I also find it really here's what I don't understand what they're trying to accomplish with betas. I was talking to somebody about this, like an IRL friend, and they were like, aren't betas to test stuff? So why are we having to level up and unlock things? Why isn't everything just available to us to test it? And it's because
Yeah.
COD's in this weird place where they have to hit everything with fear of missing out because they're this live service game, and it's bullshit. Like there's no reason I should have to. My friends don't like playing respawn COD anymore. Too fast for them. They tried with this one. They didn't like it instantly. I mean, they liked it until I was in their lobbies, and even though we were in an open playlist, there's clearly some skill base there because they said I ruined their experience. But they wanted to play Search because Search is more of a slower pace, you know, like you can take your time and breathe. It doesn't rot your brain. Um,
Not
no,
anymore.
that
Not anymore.
nope,
It's not.
yep. And then that shit just didn't work out. It's just rough, man. There's so many problems in between because none of them had Ninja unlocked. You have to be level 20 to get Ninja unlocked. So I have to convince all of my friends that to play the one game mode they may be interested in, they have to hit max rank first, which means hours of dealing with the part they don't want to. There's just no reason, in my opinion, that things that change the fundamentals of how the game play, such as Ninja and Ghost, should be locked behind any levels. Like, sure, make us level our weapons for whatever, blah, 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 unlock rewards and shit. But testing level up speed, somebody in chat says that's a good thing. But in my experience, the level up speed at full launch has never been the same as what it's been in beta. So,
Yeah.
what's the point?
Well, then you don't get the proper experience of like search and destroy. Like, so if you don't have the level rank up, like you just said, you don't have ninja and all these things that will keep you off the. I mean, we're playing search and destroy, me and my buddy last night, and we are stomping around. And to me, that's not how S&D is gonna play a week after the game comes out. So, you know, and there's a lot of things that are hidden behind this stuff that who knows how they're going to play. How are Stims going to play? That's another
Yeah,
thing. I
exactly.
mean, we know those things became such a crutch perk in all these old Call of Duties that, again, this goes back to the 2 hour thing where we were playing. I don't even think I used half of the stuff because I'm trying to test guns first. And I'm like, oh, shoot, I got to change my perks around. And everything's new in front of you, too. So you don't have the time to like process what you're trying to do, really. You almost got to write down before you go in there. Okay, I need
You
where's
have to have
Ghost?
like a
Where
thing you want to do, yeah. Or else you'll just run out of time and just get smacked in the face with it. And they're like, all right, last map. And you're like, what? I
Yeah,
used 2 guns.
yeah. Um, so yeah, I think the one thing that I saw with, I mean, where are you at with the beta in terms of like a rating? I guess I know that's like really early on in this discussion, but
7.5.
okay,
Like it's a mid game at the moment with what
yeah,
we have. The maps are too small. We don't have access to UAV. I literally just had to spend the whole time arguing with these guys because I couldn't tell if they were cheating because the UAV is up 24/7. The things this game has going right, the gunplay feels good. Infinity Ward nails that every time. They have so much work to do when it comes to the attachments and the pros and cons and the feeling like you're stuck in mud in this game because you get punished for everything you add to your gun punishes you. Like I am a bit worried about how they're going to handle the weapon balancing moving forward because I really personally I get tired of the meta change. I like the meta changing. I don't like to get a new thing posted every day that hey, 6 guns got their damage range reduced by 3 meters. That's how we're going to do it. I personally, I mean, a lot of people disagree with this. I would love if this game just took 2 more bullets to kill across all weapons.
yeah,
Just two more bullets across every single weapon, which to me that sounds like the fix to that would just be increase max HP. But I don't even think that's in their wheelhouse. I don't think they're considering that.
yeah. I don't know. What is the difference between MW19 and like I maybe you can explain it to me. I feel like maybe was it the bunny hopping or something? I feel like I could get out of more engaged like that game's TTK was very quick, but I feel like I was able to get out of situations better in that game than the other Modern Warfares. Maybe I'm wrong and I remember wrong, but
I feel like you were more explicitly in control of your character because the slide cancel was so snappy in that game. Like you could sprint to a corner right at the edge of a wall, cancel the slide right here, and barely shimmy it
yeah,
and come
yeah.
back. In this game, when you try to slide cancel, you have to finish your slide and then stand up. Finish your slide, stand up. So it's really taken some getting used to. I think MW19 was probably the snappiest feeling COD, and everybody brings it up because the slide cancel was just, there was no penalty. If you canceled your slide, you could ADS as if you were standing still. All these other CODs have penalties for doing all that movement.
I just I loved MW19 so much and I'll defend it to this day and it brought in so much crap and I get it. But man, gunplay and movement wise, I just special times, man. I don't know what happened.
To me, it feels terrible to come from BO6 and BO7 to where I admittedly did not play them as much, but I did get used to the movement of Omni movement, and I thought that was one of the Call of Duty's biggest steps forward. Black Ops 7 adding the wall jumping and stuff really pushed a lot of people off, but the ability to sprint in all directions, I think, was a W, should have never been removed. I think the sliding sideways and sliding backwards could have been removed for this game, but I don't know if you've ever like ran up on a corner on this game and there's been a grenade icon and instead of turning your whole camera to run away, you try to back up, you literally move like as fast as I'm backing away from the camera right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you can't move. Stuff like that just feels like a step backwards. And I think it's a pain when the franchise has been around for 20 years and every single year we have all these same conversations. The spawns are broken, the TTK is too fast, this, that, and the other. And it feels like instead of building on the foundation of that COD had set in stone in the golden age, we've just been kind of bullshitting and experimenting with everything, and we never know what our identity is. And Charlie Intel made the tweet, and I kind of agree. This game feels like it's trying to be Modern Warfare 3 and Modern Warfare 2, but not committing to either.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of floatiness. Or an even better example, it feels like they're trying to like this game feels like it has the TTK of Ghost, man. It feels like it's
It
like Ghost
does.
mixed with
It's got to
MW3.
be. I mean,
It's
it's
like Ghost mixed with MW3.
Yeah, I mean,
This
Jack
game
told
doesn't
me.
feel like MW3 at all. I just mean mantle speeds and like the speed you move around. That's all I'm saying, Hunter.
Yeah, Jack told me at a few, I think at the New York event that he would compare it to MW19 up close and MW3 far away. I think after playing, but again, my gunfights aren't far away in this game
Yeah, no, not
because the
usually,
maps are
unless
so
you're on
small.
Silkworm. Yeah, Silkworm is the only Silkworm and Cachette. Well, actually, Cachette doesn't really have a long. The longest sight line in the game right now is down that Lotus map in the middle. I don't like that map.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we could talk about the maps. The maps are a problem.
Oh man. So,
Yeah, the maps are a big problem.
but I don't know if they're a problem or is it the movement that's the problem.
I don't know any type of movement system to where I would really have fun on Lotus. The only game mode I've had fun on it is Hardpoint. Everything else feels like it has no flow. It's one of the bigger maps. All the maps are too small though, especially on Silkworm. Like I feel like I'm forced into one or two gaps every single time I respawn.
Yeah.
There's not like a. I know I see a lot of people complaining about rooftops. That one's also very small. I do feel like you can kind of go in between lanes easier on that map, but like I don't know. It's just none of these maps are hitting. Like when the map is loaded, there isn't a single one where I go, I'm glad I'm playing this one. It's just
Yeah.
I'm always glad to not be on Transit 213.
I just think if you brought the movement down to, let's say, classic playlist, obviously this is going to be a completely reworking of a game, but if we had the movement of the BO7 classic playlist where there was is there sliding in that? No, just diving, right? Diving and just no tack sprint. You have the normal sprint set at a decent speed. I think these maps would play better.
Hey, I agree. And you know what? I have not been one of the people on this whole train of remove tax sprint this, tax sprint that. It really is just cumbersome. Like I would really, I'd probably enjoy this game more if it didn't have tax sprint. I'll just say it.
I I,
There's
I
so many
think
settings and so much over convolution in Call of Duty. If they could just simplify it, that's why everybody loves Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 right now. It's simple.
yeah,
It is simple. You get
everything's
on, you
simple.
play a game, you point and shoot, you look at the mini map. That's what Call of Duty is.
I feel like I gotta say a hot take. I was talking to my buddies about this, and I think Call of Duty's got to figure out something with the consulting thing, because I feel like lately Call of Duty has been bringing people in, and this is not a shot at any Call of Duty creator, by the way. They're bringing in Warzone people for multiplayer feedback. And so I think Warzone I've been saying it for years, Warzone has to be a separate thing. Get Warzone its own launcher, and it launches and it plays a different game. And that way you can have all the guns and skins and whatever. You have these people that are playing Warzone. They're coming in and they're going, the game's not fast enough. So they add all this tack sprint and all this sliding and movement. Well, they are correct if they're in the framework of, I got to go run around Verdansk and sprint and do all this. Sure, that makes perfect sense, but not when you're playing Transit 213. Transit 213 does not need speed. It has plenty of it when you're going to get in interactions all the time. So I think there needs to be separate division. I know a few of these Warzone people do play multiplayer every once in a while, but the majority of them that I know that come to these events, their feedback should be like, hey, go play the new Warzone map or something. I don't think, as soon as this beta is over, 95% of these people that are streaming are not going to touch this game. Like, they're going to only wait for that new map.
They're only going to play it to level their guns, just like they have the whole time.
Exactly. So it's like, why are you asking for feedback on a multiplayer map for a dude that only plays Rebirth Island? What do you think he's going to want to do? He's going to want sprinting. He's going to want slide canceling so he can run around on bioweapon and get the card and go get specialist and run around like a cracked person and do his thing. And again, that's totally fine. I'm glad there's a spot for those people, but I think multiplayer, we've come to the point where the more simple, the better. That's why BO2 and BO1 are as popular as they are. Copy it. We talked about this before too. 7 years now of this modern game, modern shooter. You know what I'm saying? Like MW19 brought in this modern gameplay, different system. We're now on year 7. Now, if you go all the way back to the golden age of Call of Duty, we started to get bored after like 5 or 6 titles, and we were getting the best games of all time. That is why we got Advanced Warfare, because we were bored and we were shouting, everything's the same, same. We're past that in time. We've gotten more Call of Duties from the modern age than we did during COD 4 through BO2. So I think there's also a sense of just people are burnt out on this type of game.
And
And
people forget too that back in the day when what you're talking about was happening, you're
yes,
referencing the golden age. MW3 was considered the golden age, right? That game got roasted up and down. I remember it vividly. Got roasted and called a DLC.
yeah,
And everybody said, we're sick of playing the same thing, blah, blah, blah. It's all the same complaints and shit. We are going through the cycle now, and we're at year 7 of this new age. You know, we had the advanced movement age that Advanced Warfare and all them had, and then we're in our new Modern Warfare era. And we talked about it on the phone earlier, Chad. I think people are just kind of tired of COD. Like,
they're tired of
multiplayer
it,
shooters
Grandpa.
together. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're tired of it, Grandpa. They're tired of it. I mean, and this was something else we talked about on the phone that I feel very strongly about. Call of Duty really, really wants to be a mainstay in every player's mind for 12 months out of the year. They want it to be the only game you play, the only game you think about every week. There's some reason you need to get on. There's a fear of missing out element at all times. I just don't think that's working anymore. I
no,
don't. I don't think it's working anymore. And Call of Duty's true identity, what it's always been, I know that we have some of the sweatiest people ever in the community in the chat right now and on Twitter, or they're going to watch this YouTube video, who have hit 10th prestige in every Call of Duty. I grew up with a big group of friends that always played. We would play for 2 to 3 months, hit like 2nd or 3rd prestige, done. We were done for the year. And we never would say, hey, this game's dog shit. That's why I'm done playing it. I just think that we're at the point now to where if a game can't be played for 12 months straight, or it loses any player base at all, that people call it dog shit. And MW4 might be dog shit. I'm just saying that people need to set their standards. Like, Call of Duty's not going to keep you entertained for more than a couple of months, man. It's just not, unless they completely add something new or change something about it. Like classic matchmaking, like
yeah,
you said. That
yeah.
was a big shock. That'll get people back. Stuff like that is cool. All these, like, I'm cool with weekly events for challenges and blueprints and stuff, but it's exhausting, man. We talked about how exhausting it feels to play the game. As a news account, I can't keep up with all the shit going on. How does it feel as a player when every time you turn the game on, you're hit with pow, new battle pass, pow, new event starting this, pow, we got it done.
Yeah.
You got 3 days to finish this, or else you'll never get this gun. Like, when I play with my friends, that's how they always feel. They're like, dude, this game is just too much. Charlie
I was actually just pulling it up. I saw that message. So Call of Duty's Modern Warfare 4 early access beta's most popular platform was PS5. I mean, that's nothing crazy. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. Xbox Series X was second, followed by Steam, then Battle.net, then Xbox PC. So obviously the initial reaction here is everybody always goes, everybody plays Call of Duty on Battle.net on PC. So the argument now is, okay, Steam numbers are dropping off and Steam's more popular than Battle.net. Is this game already seeing a dip in the player base? Which I'm telling you, man, my buddy, I hate to keep saying my buddy, because I feel like it's all me and you are in the same boat. Like, we have buddies, we play Call of Duty. We want our buddies to play Call of Duty. And then when they get on and play with us, it's the same experience. Either they get thrown into some crazy matchmaking now. My buddy used the words sprint, slide, die, sprint, slide, die, jump probably 500 times when we played yesterday for like 2 to 3 hours. I will be surprised if he still has the game installed on his PC when we play tonight. You know,
I'd be interested in knowing like how many inputs a minute the average Call of Duty player is inputting when they're playing Transit 213. I bet the number's astronomically high. Like the number of buttons you're pressing, it's exhausting. It really is.
exhausting is the biggest way to explain this modern era. You get on and you just have to constantly be thinking. And that goes back to their stats too, of people are leaving matches and people aren't playing as long. And again, this is, I feel like, this stuff that they don't account for. You think people are going to play a game where they're constantly using their brain 24/7, engagements every 2 seconds, completing challenges very quickly? You think they're just going to stay on the game and not quit out and not go play something else that's like GTA or Red Dead or Cyberpunk, like, or Madden or 2K? Like, they don't, nobody's brain can handle that for that amount of time.
Yep. Most people, I would argue that most people have a rotation of games they play through, and if they're a Call of Duty player, Call of Duty's just one of those. But throughout my time running Modern Warzone, I had no idea there were that many people that only play Call of Duty. If you're in this Discord, if you're watching this right now, I beg you to play something else. I beg you to expand your horizons. Call of Duty is a good game. Modern Warfare 4 might not be the worst game ever, but it's not the greatest COD, but it'll be fun for a little while if you like Call of Duty. You just got to expand your horizons, man.
Yeah. I think like I said, that was why I played GTA. I think there's a point where, and I always look at it from a creator side. I feel like the people that I've seen leave Call of Duty, not saying that that's what I'm doing, but they leave and they get bigger somehow. They have a
Yep.
bigger audience because I was talking to Realistic about this. Like every year they lose more and more of the age group that grew up with Call of Duty. And that age group that is starting to have kids and has kids already is not telling their kids to go, "Hey, go play Call of Duty." Like, it was passed down to me, like, go play Medal of Honor, go play shooters. It's not getting passed down, and people are playing other games now. And I think they're addressing this TikTok market that is going to go to whatever game is popular at that time anyway. So why are you not trying to please the people that like made your game the game that it was, and then let the people pass it down? And you know what? If the TikTok generation doesn't love it, I'm sorry, man. Like, it is what it is. Maybe Call of Duty, that the actual real Call of Duty that we played growing up, maybe it just isn't it. It's not for you. Like, people played Battlefield back in the day because they didn't like the way Call of Duty felt. And Call of Duty was okay with that because they were the greatest game of all time back then. But
It
now
had
they're
an
like,
identity.
yeah, they had an identity. Now they're like, okay, shoot, can we get the Arc Raiders audience? Can we get the Warzone, the Fortnite audience? Can we get the finals audience? Like, dude, just get the Call of Duty audience, and you'll be back on top.
I mean, shit, they've made it to where you can shoot holes through the smoke grenades. They're getting the Counter Strike audience too.
Yeah, and I don't
That
care. I don't hate that kind of stuff getting added, but like the tax sprint and all that, like, I'm over it now. The sliding, I just want to I
so
just want to
I'm,
play a
I'm gonna
game
do
like
it.
BO2 again.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna start it. It's been a long time since I've done this, but it's hot take time.
Oh, I love
Fuck it.
this. Okay.
Fuck it. Fuck it. It's gonna make a lot of people mad. It's gonna make Twitter mad. It's gonna make Twitter real mad.
This ought to be good.
Every time anybody talks about Call of Duty, we always talk about the good old days. You know what the difference is between now and the good old days? It's fucking overcomplicated. It's convoluted. It's too much. People who get off work can't just sit down and play a game and have fun whether they get stomped or not because they're worried about running, sliding, jumping, diving,
Yeah.
doing 20,000 fucking things. We just established that we're in year 7 of this new era. We're probably about to enter some new era of COD. We don't know what it is yet. We have just proven with the Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 ports that classic gameplay is still loved. You can call it nostalgia, call it whatever the fuck you want, but there is something there. I think the next step for COD, oh, this is going to make a lot of people mad. I think the next step for COD is to go back, to actually go backwards. I never am one to advocate for going backwards. It's time to go back to simplicity, the most simple boots on the ground gameplay you can get. Take out slides, go with the Black Ops 2 formula. The skill in the gunplay can be between strafing. In Black Ops 2 and those old games, you could jump shot around a corner. Those are skill gaps. They're not the biggest skill gaps. They're not bunny hopping, but I don't know where else Call of Duty goes from here without making it more complicated, more convoluted, and harder for new people to get the game passed down to them, like you just said.
Yeah.
Like, if you haven't been playing COD your whole life and you pick up fucking BO6 or BO7, you're gonna be like, "You guys have been doing this for 20 years?"
Yeah.
No, we haven't. Back in the day, it was not like that. So I don't know if you guys disagree. Chat. One's in the
No,
chat if you agree with me.
I
Would you enjoy a simplistic COD without sliding?
But
or two if not.
I don't think people understand this because I see one of the chats. Didn't they try that with MW22?
They
No,
did, but
no, it's
not they didn't fully commit to it. They just made it to where you could think you could move, but it made you worse. I'm talking about take all that shit out of the game.
yeah. I mean, we were earning perks in MW2. That's not going back to OG COD. It took you 3 minutes to lay down in that COD. There was no dead silence in that COD. It took 15 minutes to aim down your gun in that COD. There was smoke everywhere when you shot your gun in that COD. That is not original. Okay, the only thing that was probably the same as the original COD was maybe the base speed of like how you ran, like that speed. That was it. That was the only correlation to old Call of Duty.
Tac Sprint, I agree with you guys, chat. Tac Sprint is worse. When I'm mentioning that, Tac Sprint is the first thing in my mind. I never had a problem with Tac Sprint, so I started paying more attention to what aggravates me about Call of Duty. Tac Sprint's probably one of the top 3 on the list. It just feels cumbersome all the time.
Yeah.
And the base speed now is slower than old COD, because in old COD you had 2 movement speeds, right? Actually, you had 3. You had prone speed, you had crouch speed, you had walking speed, you had sprint speed. Now you have all 3 of those first ones, but you have regular walk speed. You have jog. They have a jog if you didn't know. Then you have run speed. Then you have sprint speed. Then you have tactical. That's 5 different walking speeds. That's a lot.
That's a lot going on.
I might not be right about the no sliding, like maybe sliding could stay, but I'm just saying I think that the next era for Call of Duty is going to be the simplistic era. And we were mentioning this on the phone earlier. When you guys think about MW19 and how successful it was, everybody says that Warzone saved it. True, whatever. Every COD falls off after 4 or 5 months. I feel like a lot of people don't validate that part of it. But the game was fresh and interesting and felt way different than the games before it because it was simple. Nobody, when that game came out, was fucking running auto tac sprint, slide canceling every corner.
Yeah.
People learned that over time. And over time, now everyone does it, and now it's just everybody's crack.
Yes.
When that game first came out, that game was simple COD. Before I made Modern Warzone, about a month or 2, I'd been playing MW19 with my friends. None of us knew what the fuck a slide cancel was. I was on social media a lot, and I had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
If we go back to simplistic COD, yes, people will find a way to break it, but it's quite obvious to me that people enjoy pretty graphics, good gunplay, not instant TTKs. The SBMM of MW19 is egregious as fuck, and I can't. That just shows that people enjoyed the game enough to deal with it, and they would migrate to like single life modes and gunfight. But I do think that game kind of proves that if you just dumb the game back down and go to classic stuff, people like it.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I think the wave, dude. I'm telling you, and this is why I kind of feel bad for IW. I don't think I said it in this one. I think we talked about it on the phone. IW, again, I know people don't like them, but I do want to defend them because I feel like they were put in an impossible situation, especially right now, because MW22 came out and the game was absolutely hated. And what people wanted after that COD was a fast movement COD like MW19. And so I think they probably went into that going, okay, we need to do that, depending on what the leak is true with Ghost of Hope or not. Like, was that actually true, or did they have another MW2 coming? But let's say, for example, they went, okay, let's make that game instead. So they were making a high-speed game based on feedback from the people. Now that game's been, now that's 4 years ago, dude. The gaming, 4 years in gaming is an eternity. So now everybody's flipped. And on top of that, like I said, the classic mode and the ports dropping right before MW4. I think that was my biggest concern going into MW4. I was like, whoa. Now I remember you kind of just got
like, felt like,
yes, you're like, holy crap. Like I play them
before you felt like you were gaslighting yourself when you talked about the old CODs. Everybody's like, no, I wasn't really like that. And then you went back and played it. You're like, holy shit, it was what I remember.
Well, and it's the whole community aspect. The ports have people talking in the mic. There's trash talking. There's friendly banter. There's people doing the calling cards. And listen, I'm not condoning all the things that are on the calling cards, but it's like you just have this personality on the game And now everything feels so stripped of that. You can't talk, you're going to get chat banned. You put something in the chat, it
Yeah.
gets blurred with the stars. There's no calling cards. There's no community because people don't want to chat. They got to be in Discord to say what they want to say. And again, I'm not condoning saying whatever you want, but you got to have a little bit of that in there so we can have some personality in the game. And I think that's why Arc Raiders was, we talked about that on the phone. That's why Arc Raiders was popping so much, was just what they allowed people to do in that game. I don't even know if it was the game loop, and we can talk about that, tying it into DMZ. If they don't let people talk in DMZ, that thing's going to be dead in a month.
They will. They had prox chat in DMZ.
No, I know they're going to have
certainly
prox chat, but are people going to be able to say, are they going to get a little spicy, or is it going to be a comms
You
ban?
mean comms ban? Yeah, I couldn't
Yeah.
believe. I remember when Warzone 2 came out, and I made a tweet, and I was like, "Prox chat's gonna make this great." And about 2 weeks after that, you didn't hear anybody talking because everybody was getting fucking shadow banned.
Right. So if they have a shadow ban system, people chatting, and then they get shadow banned, you're going to do the DMZ loop with no mics and no tension. And yeah, that'll be dead in 2 weeks.
That would be scary.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Well, again, this is where they got these systems in place that they're trying to be all, perfect. And it's just like, man, I get it. We want to stop some of this nonsense out there, but man, you're taking your personality out of it because of these little small things. And again, look at the emblem thing. Hey, if you're offended by that stuff, turn on the emblem editor. And
Exactly. Exactly.
if you're offended by what people say, turn your mic off. And so I think it's these things that they're just trying to, I don't even know what the word is, but be high and mighty maybe. And then it's like, dude, come on.
Trying to be too politically correct all the time. They just want to make sure they're on the right side of fucking everything. And if you go back on my Twitter, you can search. I've supported a lot of stuff that COD has done for like DEI, diversity, whatever. They supported the Black Lives Matter movement and all that stuff. I agree with UT. They're doing too much with all that shit all the time.
I mean, go back to MW3 with what's his face, saying "F you, last stand." They would never say that in a discussion anymore.
Yeah, politics don't belong in a video game. Another thing that I'm glad they're getting back to is they're getting back to big campaign moments, like the world is involved. That's one thing. I feel like they were so scared to touch that stuff.
Yeah.
Like I was replaying the MW19 campaign.
Oh, they were touching on it.
And in like the first 5 or 6 fucking missions, I've committed like 8 war crimes.
Yep. And like, I think they're headed back for that.
The gloves need to be off. Call of Duty needs to take the gloves off and acknowledge that they have a bunch of degenerate shit stains that play their game every day. This isn't made.
That's actually a good point. Yeah.
It's not made for 12-year-olds. We don't need to coddle anyone.
What do you think of the campaign mission? I mean, minus the plates for me, I was feeling great.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of having the plates. Other than that, it was cool. I really don't like that was the mission they chose for us.
I feel like
that's supposed to be I feel like that was supposed to be one of the big payoff missions. Like, I feel like that's right after the assault that they showed us.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was going to be a much cooler, because based off of I thought trench warfare would be much more fun, is all I'm going to say. The enemies were fucking bullet sponges, for one. I had to 2 or 3 headshot most of them. Not a big fan of that.
Yeah.
I think the campaign's still going to be okay, though. But I don't think the campaign really matters when it comes to COD's success this year. I'm a big campaign guy, but
I think they put a banger mission out there so they could try to sell the campaign. Because, I mean, the last, 3 have been terrible. And again, that's a player base that you cut corners, and then you lose people and I know this is a very small number of people, but there are people out there that buy Call of Duty for the campaign. And then if they like the campaign, maybe they'll invest a little bit more time in the game. Well, you got rid of those people. You think they're going to try a new Call of Duty after 3 bad campaigns in a row? So I don't know.
They put campaign and Warzone in the beta because of GTA 6. Exactly. Everybody also needs to think about it. This is the least marketed Call of Duty game I can remember in my entire time doing this, and it's because they know GTA 6 is right around the corner, and when that game comes out, it's over. Well, none of this talk is going to matter.
I said that in my review that I posted yesterday or the day before. I could see this being one of those cases where game launches, gets absolutely pooped on. GTA comes out, it gets even more pooped on, and then they actually make some changes, and then come January and February, like kind of like an MW3 situation where there's
It's a good game.
it becomes a good game by then. People are like, okay, I beat the campaign. Online's not here yet. Like, let's go see what Call of Duty is for $40, $30. Okay. Like, I'm down with that. So, I don't see this thing selling well right now. And I don't know if it's Infinity Ward's fault or Call of Duty's fault or GTA's fault or everybody's fault, the player's fault. I don't know.
I think that it is surprising though. Every other time there's a Modern Warfare name, we just assume it's going to sell well, and now that these numbers are starting to leak out, it's like, oh shit,
Yeah.
this really might not do it this time. And this game is much better than MW2. MW2 2022 is still their greatest selling game of all time, which is like a big slap in the fucking face every time I'm reminded of that shit.
Yeah, we talked about that though. Like, title of the game, the hype it came off of after MW19, what it promised. Of course, it was going to do great.
I think the problem also as well is to convince the player base that they won't do the same thing. You know, people remember what that MW2 beta was like, and they don't expect that to change based on feedback. I will say, props where props are due. Infinity Ward does seem to be listening to all feedback given now.
I agree.
But we need to address the elephant in the room. Why the fuck is it now? We've been giving this feedback for 7 years.
Yeah.
It's the same shit every year. They knew before we pulled up, we don't want fireworks coming out of the end of our guns.
Yeah.
I don't
I agree,
get it, bruh. I don't get it.
I
don't get it.
I think I just think eventually people get tired of this. I really do. I think everybody hits a point in the Call of Duty world where, and I say these names kind of because they're who I think of, like the T Martins of the world, where they give all this feedback, the Courages of the world, where they're huge COD guys and they're in these sessions all the time, giving feedback, and then eventually one Call of Duty just comes out that they're like, they did not listen again. I'm out. And I don't know, you know, I think sometimes that's what is happening to me, because I've talked about this on my videos. I'm like, dude, I don't know what the future is for this franchise, because if this game flops, ain't nobody going to be watching content. And so, you know, content kind of pays the bills around my parts. So when do you go, all right, hold on a second here, we might need to reestablish what's going on?
I have to pivot to something completely different.
Yeah, look, like like Raylan said, T Martin left after the no red dot MW19. He went, oh yeah, if they're not listening to this feedback, I'm out.
I think it's just so hard for like me and you or anybody else. We say the same thing every year. We gave them the same feedback. They know what game we want, man. It's really not that complicated. I feel like sometimes the Call of Duty community contradicts itself sometimes with saying things are too fast, things are too slow. But on all the basic things, we want to be able to see what we're shooting at. We want movement to be fluid, and we want the maps to not feel like brain rot.
Yeah.
I don't understand why. So this is what I was trying to get to. In my experience of doing Modern Warzone, I can't remember a year where there were more content creators that were paid for consultation for the game.
There's too many people doing that.
There were so many people that were paid to fly out, play, give their feedback. And that's how we know for a fact that the leaks that Hope was making were partially true. Straight up, I remember after we left, Ebates was allowed to say, hey, I came here 2 months ago. The game was dog shit. I told them it was a 1 out of 10.
Yeah.
And he listed all the reasons why, and it was all the same shit we're still talking about. Visibility, spawn, all the same stuff. So they and then Charlie Intel Kashav on his personal account made a tweet yesterday and said that this game was basically MW2 2.0, and then they flipped it in 10 months. I just don't understand how we ended up with that. But when me and you were out there, and I'm talking to Griggs, the fucking studio head, it's clear to me, looking in the guy's eyes, he realizes they fucked up with MW2.
Oh, even dude,
why
even
were
Joe
we remaking the same game? Why were we remaking the same game then? I think there's too many cooks in the kitchen. between executives, the people under them. Do you remember that report that came out when the Microsoft subpoenas or something were happening,
Yeah,
or they
yeah.
did all the layoffs, and Asha Sharma was like, "There's like 5,000 managerial positions we just laid off that are just layers of management that things have to go through." I think COD is starting to have to deal with that bloat.
Yeah. Like you said too. I mean, I talked to every developer that was there. They came up, asked me questions, and you know, I tried to give as much feedback as I could. Jackie and Jack, Mark, like you said, they don't look like people that they look like they know what they're doing. Like
And
they
they
were,
care. You
yeah, and
can't
they
fake
care.
care. You can't fake caring. They
Yes,
legitimately care. So to
yes.
us, we just get so confused how things end up at the spot they're in. I don't understand how you could. I don't understand how you know all the mistakes you made, but yet your game was almost looking like the same fucking product until 10 months ago when a content creator had to sit down and look at you and go, "I would never tell somebody to play this."
And here's the thing too,
How do you get there?
and here's the thing too. That was eBase. I mean, he's a Warzone dude.
The Warzone
If
guy.
he knows it's bad, then what the heck was that product? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That, like, not saying that eBase doesn't play multiplayer, but like, he's mainly a Warzone guy. And so if he's telling them it's bad, I don't know what it possibly could have been. But if it was MW2 2.0, whoa, that's special. That's a special
That is
time.
special. And I haven't even got to play Black Ops 2 port because I tried to buy a PS5 and it never got here. But man, every time I open up a stream,
I don't,
everybody's having
you
fun.
probably don't want to, because when you do, it'll ruin the modern games for you. It really will.
Yeah. Damn.
It's that good, man. And
I'm
people
gonna say
can,
this. I feel like you can't play these modern games unless you play claw or have paddles on your controller either, and I think that's an accessibility issue.
yeah,
You could play tactical, I guess.
yeah, and I guess with these things too, people always scream nostalgia and stuff like that. But if they had a problem with nostalgia, why are they bringing back Raid for the 18th time? Why are they bringing back Standoff for the 18th time? Why is Backlot coming back? Like, it's okay to be a nostalgic brand. Like, lean into it, make more money. Look at what BO1 and BO2 did. They made billions of dollars in 5 minutes. Like, it ain't that hard. But yeah, that if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll wrap it up and then we can talk about the podcast after. But if you're watching this on YouTube, thanks for watching. Let us know what you think about MW4. Leave a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel. Go follow Doug. You probably already do on Twitter. Go follow his Twitch. And let me know who else you want me to pop into this thing here and hear them yap about it. All right, we'll see you in the next video.